Range Rover has been losing sleep over the gap between its 5-door, 5-seat Range Rover Evoque and the 5-door, 5-seat Range Rover Sport. You and I may not have realised that that was a problem, but Range Rover has come up with a solution, and it's called the Velar. Meet the fourth member in the Range Rover family. Larger than the compact Evoque and smaller than the Range Rover Sport, the new Velar is a road-focused model that puts style at the top of its list of priorities. In here, Range Rover has mixed state-of-the-art technology with a clean, uncluttered design system to rival the world's best luxury brands. Of course, you've got a full digital dashboard. You can expect that in any high-end luxury car today. But you've also got these beautiful twin screens here that do away with conventional knobs, buttons and dials for the stereo and air conditioning system. One of my favourite touches are these multifunction dials here that have rubber circles on the outside that you adjust and tiny little display screens on the inside that augment the displays that you see throughout the rest of the car. They'll show you different driving modes that you're in, show you climate control displays, massaging seat functions, all kinds of interesting stuff. Naturally, this is an exquisite place to be with just beautiful use of materials throughout. You've got the suede-like Alcantara headlining in the launch edition car that we're in right now. It's actually made from recycled plastic bottles. You wouldn't think it. It's so soft and thick to the touch that it came from waste products. It's excellent to see. The leather trim throughout the car is just brilliant as well. There's a real sense of quality that you get throughout this car. And one thing that I do think is quite interesting is that Range Rover is offering essentially a vegan option for the interior, replacing the leather seats with a high-end cloth that really doesn't give anything away in terms of its prestigious quality. So the Velar is based on the Jaguar F-Pace, one of the sportiest SUVs on the road. As such, it isn't really a traditional Range Rover. It doesn't have a low-range four-wheel drive system. It's not really a sort of car that you'd use to cross the Simpson Desert or something like that. That said, it certainly does have a decent amount of off-road ability. We've been driving the car in a variety of conditions on wet and dry tarmac, in mud, gravel, dirt, all kinds of interesting places, and it's gotten us everywhere we need to go. It's been quite impressive. The car is rear-wheel drive most of the time. When you're on a highway traveling at speed, it's just driving the rear wheels to save fuel. But of course, when you go off-road, it is four-wheel drive. Exactly what you need it to be. I have to say the Velar isn't quite as sporty to drive as the F-Pace. It doesn't quite have that immediate response in the front end of Jaguar's car, but it is still pretty impressive. It has the same wheelbase as the Jag. They're pretty much the same size, but a different character of its own. The Jaguar is definitely more of a sporty machine, whereas this is a car that has a greater breadth of ability. The Velar is available with a choice of 6 engines, 3 petrol and 3 diesel. There are 4-cylinder versions of each, plus a pair of V6 engines that sit at the top of the range. We tested the car with a powerful turbo diesel engine that should prove popular in Australia. The version that we're driving right now has a 3-litre twin-turbo diesel V6 with a thumping 700 Nm of torque, more than you need in a car like this. It's absolutely effortless going up hills, overtaking, all sorts of stuff like that. Definitely gets the job done. There's no V8 option, at least for now, but there will be a sporty version later on, so if you are interested in a high-performance version of the Velar, I'd hang off for the SVR. The driving experience lives up to what the styling promises. This is a car that has a decent amount of off-road ability, but it is also quite refined and luxurious on tarmac. The Velar handles bumps fairly well. The car that we're driving now has air suspension that's likely to be optional in Australia, and it's done a great job on a variety of surfaces. You can raise and lower the car according to your driving environment. Right now, driving it on the road, we've got it in dynamic mode, so it's nice and low and taut, but putting it off-road, you can certainly jack it up and get around 250 mil of road clearance. The Velar is an impressive machine, particularly when loaded up with all the goodies of our test cars. Range Rover has priced the Velar from just over 70 grand in Australia, but you don't get much for your money there, not even sat-nav. The first edition model you see here costs more than $160,000 plus on-road costs. It's an impressive car with plenty of gear, but in this form, it also costs more than the larger and more capable Range Rover Sport. The new Velar arrives in Australia in October. If you want to get hold of one this year, you better get in quick, because there's more than 300 people already ahead of you in the queue.